Evan will be highlighted on our 2017-18 season. But for now, we'd like to talk about Evan as a composer, the trajectory, the work we've done already, and some of the future plans.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. We are outside of the Cooper Union down the way, where Evan is having a piece premiered actually in like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us about that piece?
Sure. So it's called The Dream Deferred, and it was commissioned by The Dream Unfinished, an activist orchestra based here in New York. And their season is all about the school proposal pipeline this year. Every year they highlight a specific issue related to social justice. And so my piece sort of takes inspiration from the famous poem by Langston Hughes, Harlem, where he asks, what happens to the dream deferred? Does it explode? Does it dry up? And so I really enjoyed working on the piece. I also got to work with the youth orchestra students that they are playing alongside with. They wrote 3 of the melodies that are in the piece and featured throughout the work.
Great. And this is similar to something you did before with the Cincinnati Symphony, right? You've been
exactly.
commissioned by the Cincinnati Symphony.
Yes.
No small feat.
So same sort of thing, except what was great about this collaboration with The Dream Unfinished is we did a workshop together where I sort of guided them through some of the ways I think about melodies and motive. And so sort of the music was more of a collaboration rather than me just getting melodies and putting them into the work.
So the way I first learned about your music was through a mixtape of sorts via I Care If You Listen. And that was your piece Grind, which I still think is just one of the best pieces I've heard
thank you.
this century, for sure. Can you tell us actually a little bit about that piece?
Yeah, so it's sort of geeky. I hope that's all right. So it takes the sound of an electric guitar going through a distortion pedal, and it analyzes it through spectral analysis, and then I recreate that sound with violin, viola, cello, and bass, one of each. And so it's really kind of cool because it starts with just this one note G, everyone's on the same G, and it expands into this sort of guitar sound, and then comes back to that G. So it has inspirations from my love of rock music and guitar, but also this side of spectralism and whatnot.
Yeah, well, phenomenal piece, and we'll link to it in the show notes for today. So let's go all the way back.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about where you grew up and then your trajectory through school, that whole process?
So I'm originally from the Chicago suburbs. We lived in the city for not very long. I only went to preschool in the city, and then we moved to the suburbs when I started kindergarten. And I don't come from a musical family. My mom is a pharmacist, my dad is a computer programmer, but they've always been really supportive of this. So I started playing trombone in 5th grade band, mostly because I wanted to go to Disney World, but it turned into a lifelong love of music. I started writing maybe when I was in 6th or 7th grade. My uncle gave me this little keyboard, and I would compose little musicals that I would make my cousins help me perform. And then it went into me writing for trombone ensemble, string quartets and stuff like that, and I haven't looked back. Yeah.
So you went to Lawrence University,
yes.
And then on to CCM?
Well, in between
Bowling
Green State University for my master's,
Love
and
Ohio.
CCM for my doctorate. So I've been based in Ohio for a while, and now that I'm sort of in the academic circle, moving around from position to position.
Yeah. But it's been a fun coming up, right? You're headed back to Lawrence?
Yes, I'm going to teach for a year at Lawrence University, which I'm really excited about. Actually being the sabbatical replacement for my former teacher, so that's a really big honor.
Yeah, sure. We're back. So our first project together was that commission, that non-etch you wrote.
Yes.
Beautiful Death.
Yes.
On a Kanye lyric. But we're back together. We're doing a harpsichord concerto.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that.
So I've actually been wanting to write this harpsichord concerto for a few years. I don't know exactly when I got the idea, but I love the sound of the harpsichord. I love Baroque music. And then on the other side, as a young African American composer, I'm always wondering, what are sort of my models in the field? What are my models in the canon? And when we're talking about the classical canon, as we've talked about a few times before, there are no models for females or people of color. So basically, it's just sort of an exploration of that question: who are my models, and how do I make music in this sort of environment?
So one of the fun things, fun with a little bit of an asterisk, is when you commission, especially younger composers, it's sort of a box of what might happen here. And so, I think when you fall in love with a piece and thereby a composer, you end up expecting something very similar when you commission them. And we were just goofing off tape about how Beautiful Death is incredibly different from Grime. Do you want to talk about how that happens?
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like I go through phases as a composer. Grime was in my angry / post-minimalist phase.
Okay.
Lots of grooves, very fast, moving parts, and also lots of extended techniques and very angry and grinding sounds. But when you contacted me, I was in my sort of beautiful contemplative phase where I was writing all this very slow music, and I'm glad that you didn't sort of say, no, we're not doing this. I want to, give me some exciting work. Really, Beautiful Death was just a very important piece for my development as a composer, and my first New York premiere. So I was really happy to keep working with you, and I'm really honored that we have this collaboration.
Thank you. So October 20th is the date. You can come hear the premiere of Evan's Dead White Man music. You can come here, I don't know if, I'd imagine it's the New York premiere. I haven't talked to Jennifer of her piece, Spielzeug Straßbahn. And then Samuel Coleridge Taylor's Nonette.
Awesome.
Great. All right. Feel like anything else we should talk about?
No.
Cool.